Yeah, it's our time to shine. Show that's the kind of state of mind you gotta combine with hard work and time. You gotta climb to the top. Don't let yourself drop till your heart stops. Let this beat rock. Got a new clock and a new stock for this new rock. Just let your mind loose from the new stock. Drunk off the goose, thinking that I'm too pop. Getting caught with a few thoughts cause I'm too lost. Off the speakers can't even handle me. Giving what I got, nobody's gonna drain my energy. And I will never stop, I'm motivated by enemies. Setting up shop so everybody remember me. And no, I am not going through life regretfully. I'd rather work non-stop, what they call incessantly, than work some odd job just to live life pleasantly. Already got lost in my mind, not a fantasy, I'm getting in. Forgotten souls, so stop, drop, and roll. You lost all control and pop off your ball. I got squat, I fold, I'm not bought, I'm sold. My stock rocks, it's gold. Hey, knock, knock, she home and shit, talk to close. I ain't stopping though, it's hip-hop, you know. Or is it rock and roll? I'm not dropping, don't know my pocket's grown. You can't stop the show, so get rockin' on. So let me break it all down for you. I ain't never giving up, I ain't never giving up. Taking that crown from you. I ain't worried about you, I ain't never. So let me break it all down for you. I ain't never giving up, I ain't never giving up. Taking that crown from you. I ain't worried about you, I ain't gonna make it back. Yeah. I ain't never slowing down, keep on going till I'm down. No, I'm never slowing down, cause we're blowing up now. I ain't never slowing down, keep on going till I'm down. No, I'm never slowing down, cause we're blowing up. Hard words like a weapon, attack with no questions. In my own section and they still disconnected, cause their mind's been infected and they're filled with objection. Too filled for recollection, so we're losing all attention. They don't know I'm in contention, cause I'm gaining their attention. Cause I'm making a connection, lyricism and aggression got me feeling my ascension. In my passion, my profession, I'm attacking my obsession. Taking action and progressing, I go off on the enemy, that's what makes them scared of me. Make my plans carefully, then execute them daringly. They say I act recklessly, but that's why I'm effective. See, you can't predict my tendencies, I offer no transparency. Some people think I'm lost, others think I'll be a legend. I'm never gonna stop till I'm one above second. And my thoughts at the top, but my mind stay present. Don't let your dreams stop, cause dreaming is a blessing. They tell me all the same, told me I won't make a name. But it's not about the fame, it's about keeping me sane. So I stay within my lane, feel my blood pump through my veins. Feel adrenaline, no pain, welcome all to my domain. So let me break it all down for you. I ain't never giving up, I ain't never giving up. Taking that crown from you. I ain't worried about you, I ain't never. So let me break it all down for you. I ain't never giving up, I ain't never giving up. Taking that crown from you. I ain't worried about you, I ain't never. So let me break it all down for you. I ain't never giving up, I ain't never giving up. Taking that crown from you. I ain't worried about you, I ain't never. So let me break it all down for you.
Hey everybody, welcome to Aussie True Crime. I can see we've got a few people in here. If you're new here, I usually like to cover mainly Australian true crime cases or paranormal cases that I go on with Spirit Time. So I hope you stick around and listen to a few of our stories, like, share and subscribe to my channel. If you'd like to support my channel as well, the link for memberships is at the top, but it's not obligated. Just you being here is enough. So who have we got? We've got Matt in the chat. McJ, back on my BS. How are you? Beautiful Tammy, how are you? Lady Spitfire, it's always good to see you here. Kaz at home, you haven't been here for ages. Welcome back. Julie. So I'm going to get into today's story. I do apologize because I am getting over a flu, so you'll probably hear it in my voice, but I'm trying to get better at the moment. But I did want to come out with this story because it is actually a current one that's going on in Victoria at the moment. It's about an hour and a half from me where this has all happened, and it's the case of Erin Patterson. I do have videos, like pictures that I'm going to be showing. So this is Erin Patterson. She was born in 1975 in Victoria, and she's currently 48 years old. Erin Patterson got herself trending in the news after it was reported that she served a poisonous lunch to some guests at a gathering, which resulted in some of them losing their lives in the end of it. We know that Erin was emotional after the news of the passings of 3 of her alleged lunch guests, when she broke down as she faced the media, and she also became very confused on who had actually passed and who was living. A former friend of hers said that she was also a true crime fan in her secret life, but it was all very weird. So she grew up in Melbourne in a suburb, Glen Waverley, with her sister and her parents, Heather and Eaton, I think it is pronounced. Her father was a government worker, and her mother, Dr. Heather Scudder, became a university lecturer in the 19th century adult literature and is a renowned children's book critic and an author of articles and reviews for children's literature. So she came from quite a smart family. She married a Gippsland engineer and basketball coach, Simon Patterson, and the couple went on to have 2 children before all of this happened. So the Pattersons moved to Western Australia for a time, and they ran a bookshop, and then they back to southwestern Australia before returning back to Victoria. So Erin inherited a really nice ocean property, what I'll show you soon as well, from her parents, and quite a bit of money. What is like to think of what she's going through, it doesn't look like it, but she actually has quite a bit of money as well. Erin took over the running of Barra Flyer, what was the local newspaper where they were staying, like in their town, and it was edited by Don and Gail, who were guests at this luncheon that we're going to talk about. And their home was in Kurumburra at the time. That's where she was the news editor. Simon Patterson was a talented amateur photographer as well, who travelled to Africa and other overseas places and countries to pursue his craft as well, regularly contributing to the publications in this newsletter that she had. So Erin became a stay-at-home mum with her children while the children are growing up, although it has been alleged that she looked down on contributions from her local community when they tried to put things into this newsletter. So I'm just trying to give you some of the back history of where these 2 came from. One online forum that she was in, because she has deleted all of her social medias and everything now, but one forum that she was on, or was known, people say that Erin used to complain about her husband, and for her passion, she would always talk about her passion for true crime, claimed that she branded the locals illiterate mother effers during rants she used to do on these true crime pages. In another message, Erin seemingly took aim at Simon Patterson, attacking him for failing to do enough housework. And I think I have a copy of that next. So this is where she was attacking him. Says, "My husband has no idea we have a cleaner come. I love it." Erin allegedly posted while the couple was still together. "Now, I don't resent the fact that he never helps me with anything because I'm not doing the big jobs either. Now, all I have to resent him over are the nightly dishes." Another poster from the forum said that she's now deactivated everything, claimed that Erin had worked as an accountant as well, and she'd also worked with the Department of Defense, stating that she is a very smart woman. Her whole family are extremely smart people. So to be where she is today, you know what I mean? It's quite scary. The next picture I have is of... So this is where her parents lived. They brought a home. It's in the red, if you can see the red part of it. And Erin actually, with her sister, had inherited this property as well. Her parents moved from Victoria to live in New South Wales in 2009 at this stunning oceanfront property in Eden, and it's on the cliff top over Ashley Beach, overlooking the South Pacific Ocean. So when Eaton Scudder, her father, passed away, his ashes were scattered along this beach, after which Heather became very ill with cancer, and she also eventually passed in 2019. So that's when they inherited the house and quite a bit of money. Erin and her sister, Erin, her sister, had inherited it. Unfortunately, it coincided with the downfall of her marriage to Simon at the same time. So that's when they split up. And in 2022, Simon suffered a severe bout of sickness, which left him in hospital himself. Simon has spent 21 days in intensive care after collapsing at his home in May 2022. And although Erin kept his friends updated about his condition on social media, their marriage seemed to be over. So in the wake of the catastrophe, hi, beautiful Crystal, how are you, my darling? In the wake of the catastrophe of Erin's lunch on the 29th of July was what we're going to talk about. It was suggested that that meal was a forum or a mediation, sorry, I'm not getting my words out, by the other guests to repair Erin and Simon's marriage. But Simon Patterson was allegedly, he was supposed to be a guest, but he pulled out at the last minute. And it's interesting because as I go on towards the end, we're going to find out that this wasn't the first time she had actually tried to have kind of these lunches with Simon. But I'm going to go over the timeline. So Saturday, July 29th, I have a picture of all the guests that did come. So these were the 4 guests that did turn up. There was a group of people, including Erin and 2 married couples from Kumbura, gathered at her home for lunch. The guests included Gail and Don Patterson, who are the parents of Erin Patterson's estranged husband, Simon. The other couple was Gail's sister, Heather Wilkinson, and her husband, Ian. And Ian was the local pastor as well. So Erin Patterson prepares and served a beef Wellington, which include mushrooms, as we all know, at the lunch. The 2 couples became ill straight after the course, on that evening, and the following morning they attended a local hospital in Lithgow and Carabara. So they're 2 small towns next to each other, but they both went to 2 different hospitals before being taken to Austin Hospital, what's in Melbourne's northeast. So Sunday and Monday, July 30th and 31st, the Gippsland Southern Health Service confirms that a 5th person presented at Lithgow Hospital with suspected food poisoning. They were later taken by ambulance to the Musha Medical Centre in Melbourne on July 31st. Friday, August the 4th, Heather Wilkinson and Gail Patterson had by that time passed. And do you mean this was in our news every day? So every day we were getting updates on their health, and it was a pretty big thing when, on the 4th of August when they did pass. Ian Wilkinson remained in hospital, and he was still in a very critical condition at this time. Saturday, August 5th, Don Patterson passed away in hospital, and the homicide detectives interviewed Erin Patterson again and searched her home. Erin was also released by the police, but she still remained a suspect. And at this time, this is when the media was really hounding her Do you know what I mean? I remember this is when it came out about her crying in front of the car. She was asking people whether, do you mean if they actually cared about her? So it was really big, and I don't know all over Australia, but as I said, I'm an hour and a half from it, and I'm living in Melbourne, so it was on our news daily. We've seen quite a bit of her. And then it all just went really quiet for a couple of months. So Monday, August the 7th, the Victorian Health Department confirmed that the mushrooms involved in the fatalities. Erin Patterson speaks to the media finally and insisted that she was innocent and saying it was devastation, like she was devastated by the tragedy, but she didn't look that way. As I said, she did cry once, but it was more crocodile tears than anything because, my personal opinion, this was very premeditated. See what the next picture is. This was Erin again. So Friday, August the 11th, Erin Patterson gave another statement to police detailing her account of what transpired on and before and after the lunch. She recounts purchasing a mixture of mushrooms, some at a major supermarket chain and some dried mushrooms at an Asian grocery store in Melbourne. But I have also heard that she used to also pick mushrooms as well. So, I mean, we just don't know where all of these mushrooms came from. I'm assuming the ones in the supermarket would have been fine. I don't know about the dried ones from the Asian supermarket, but these death cap mushrooms are all over Victoria as well. So, do you know what I mean? If she was picking mushrooms, she could have picked them up quite easily as well because they do look like normal mushrooms. It's only like the little white parts inside of it that look different. So she did say that her children were present at the lunch during July, but she also said they didn't eat the meal. And then in some reports, she has said that she gave them some after it. But I couldn't see them getting some after it either because if anyone knows a beef Wellington, the mushrooms are actually cooked into the dish. Like you couldn't scrape them off to give it to someone else. So, do you know what I mean? It's just that there is so many stories going around about it. It's just which one you believe. But I personally don't think the children had some. Do you know what I mean? As I said, it's part. Some people are saying they did. Some are saying they didn't. They'd gone to the movies also prior to the lunch. She describes being contacted by the health department after her guests fell critically ill, and she gave them a sample of the lunch to the hospital, what they then done toxins on for examinations as well to try and see what was wrong with everyone. Tia Dash, how are you, beautiful? In spirit time, 6 months. Thank you so much. So Monday and Tuesday, August the 21st and 22nd, a private memorial was held for Don and Gail Patterson, and it was attended by close family members and people from the community. I did read, I think, about 300 people attended this, and you've got to understand these are very small towns outside of Melbourne. Like, I'm in Melbourne, they're an hour and a half from me, so they're very small little towns. So 300 probably would have been nearly the whole town that would have been going to these memorials as well. And the impact, do you know what I mean, that this has on such a small town. So Thursday, August 31st, the public memorial is held at the Coonabarra Recommendation Centre. And the revenue from Grips opens the memorial service, and they criticise the media for attending this in the town hall. And they'd been saying that they'd been receiving death threats as well right from July. So do you mean, as again, it's just the impact that this had on such a small town. Many of the stories described that Coombara as a tight-knit little community, but what they actually found was a community which, above all, was shielding and protecting the family from heartless speculation and gossip, because not many of our cases or stories go worldwide, and as a lot of you know, this one did. So for such a small town to come under so much scrutiny, the town just band together and tried to protect each other. So Saturday, September 23rd, was when the pastor, Ian Wilkinson, was actually released from hospital. This was following weeks of intensive care as well. Because when he was admitted, he was in a critical condition. We all did think he was going to pass like the other three, but thank the Lord, he actually did come good in the end. I think he's still recovering at home, but he's at least now out of the hospital. So Wednesday, October 4th, more than 300 people, as I said, had attended again to the recreational centre to remember Heather. So the first one was for two of them. October 4th was for Heather. Her husband was a survivor, Ian, and he also attended the memorial. So that was another reason why they held hers off. They done the first two, and then they held hers off so that to see what happened to her husband. And it was good that he actually got to attend her memorial. They did have him at the same place. So this was another picture of the memorial. Heather's son, David Wilkinson, he cried as he recalled his mother's warmth and her generosity. Do you know what I mean? These people were people that were giving up their time. They were very Christian, like very in the Christianity. And as I said, they were trying to help Erin and Simon get back together. So then it brought us to Thursday, November 2nd, because as I said, it all went really quiet after that. We didn't hear much until these last couple of days, where the detectives arrested Erin Patterson from her home shortly after 8 a.m. The police searched the house, the garage, and Erin Patterson's car. They were there for several hours. Do you know what I mean? It was all over the news. They had dogs there, everything, so going through everything. The Australian Federal Police technology detection dogs were used to search the home for items as well. I know that they also mentioned taking away USB sticks, SIM cards after the search. And then they took her back in for another interview as well. So she was taken to the Leongatha police station at the time. Now, I do want to mention too, and this is just something that I do remember offhand, after the lunch, she threw out a heap of stuff as well. One of them being one of those purifier, like humidifier things that was very interesting to the police. But also the fact that they waited so long to do a complete search on her home. It just scares me how much evidence could have been lost in that time as well. So on this day, what was Thursday, November 2nd, Erin was charged with 3 counts of murder and 5 counts of attempted murder. And she was remanded in custody to appear in court the following day, what was Friday, November 3rd, where she faced the Latrobe Valley Magistrates Court in Morwell. And it was a file hearing where the lawyer did not apply for bail. But even if she did apply, that she wouldn't have got it, because in Victoria, and this is where, for people that aren't in Australia, it might sound really strange, but we have 5 states, and each state has their own sort of rules. And one of the rules in Victoria is if you are charged with murder, you have to be, it has to be in a magistrate's court. So she wasn't actually sitting in a magistrate's court. So the judge wouldn't have been able to give her bond, like a bail hearing, even if she wanted it, because she would have to come into Melbourne and into the Magistrates Court for that. She was accused of the passing of her former in-laws, Don and Gail Patterson, who were both 70 years old, and Gail's sister, Heather, who was 66. So they're the 3 murder charges that she's on. Yeah, your laws in the US are much different than ours. And this is the thing too, and I've watched so many news things. She had no emotion going into these, like into the court hearing. She had no emotion in the dock. She just sat there with basically a plain face the whole time. And that's what I don't get either. Like, this is your family, whether, do you know what I mean, if they were trying to get back together or not, it still scares me that someone could just let their, do you know what I mean, do this to their own family. It's your mother-in-law, your father-in-law, and to sit with no emotion after it, it's just, yeah, I don't know. So anyway, she was charged with 3 counts of murder, was then 1 count of attempted murder relating to the lunch in July, for July 29th, what was Ian. And there were 3 other attempted murder charges related to a separate meal. So these are the dates of the separate ones between November 16th and 17th, 2021. Another one on, and they just gave us dates between. So between May 25th and 27th, 2022, and September 6th, 2023. And they all alleged to 48-year-old Simon Patterson. So 3 separate dinners she had invited him to. I believe some people went and still got sick. I'm not saying they were on mushrooms, but there was 3 separate incidents. And this is, yeah, okay, it's guilty as fuck. That's what I reckon. This is what tells me that it's premeditated. Do you know what I mean? The first 3 goes didn't work, so they had another one. Do you mean, I don't think the meditation or the mediation would have been to get back together. I think it was just her having another go. I have heard in a lot of my research as well that it was over the children, over custody battles. But I haven't seen that like legally out there. So it's just hearsay at the moment if that's what it was about or if that was her motive. So the 5th attempt related to the 5th attempt at murder charge, of course, would have been Ian Wilkinson, who was the husband, who spent close to 2 months in hospital. So, do you mean even though he recovered, it was still a charge for her? The prosecutor, Sergeant Greg Illis, asked the court for 20 weeks to prepare and serve a brief of evidence on Patterson's lawyer. And they said that they needed this time to analyze the computer equipment seized on Thursday. The magistrate, Tim Walsh, appeared annoyed and questioned why it would take 20 weeks to analyze computer equipment in, do you mean, a triple murder, where the informant is confident he had enough evidence basically to charge her there and then. Only 3. Sorry, I'm just reading the messages as well. Yeah, we don't have life here. In Victoria, if she gets life is 30 years. So, and I have seen where they've had, do you know what I mean, they can double up. So if she gets life for every murder charge, it will be 90 years. Do you know what I mean? And you got to think of her age right now. She's going to be there for the rest of her life. On purpose. For me, Sweet Misery, I think definitely premeditated. I probably would have, Jimmy, I could have changed my mind if there hadn't been 3 previous. But the fact that there was 3 previous, I really think that it was premeditated. Do you know what I mean? She meant to do this. And I think she's really pulling it by, trying to make everyone feel sorry for her. But I also don't think that they ever... Do you mean we never know what cases are going to get international attention, and I don't think that she ever thought that she would have as much eyes on this as what has happened, especially being such a small town. And do you know what I mean? That's the biggest thing that's hit this area, is because it was such a small town. I just don't think she ever thought that there was going to be this many people looking at the case that's interested in it. So yeah, in my opinion, I think it's on purpose and definitely premeditated. But we'll have to see what the evidence brings out as well. The fact that they're asking for 20 weeks is another thing too. Like, they must have such a lot to go through to be asking for such a long time, because usually murder cases go pretty quick. Do you mean, I know the courts can drag their feet, but when it comes to especially triple murders, they wouldn't drag their feet so much. So the defense lawyer, Bill Doug, said that he would engage with Patterson for a while, but he agreed to the delay, being the 20 weeks. The magistrate told Erin there was no application for bail, and again that he didn't have the power to grant it, because, as I said, they've got to go to a magistrate's court for that. Unless she applies for it and they apply in Melbourne, but it will have to come to a Melbourne court, because they're still dealing with small town courthouses. So they'll have to actually come to a Melbourne magistrate court if she wants to apply for it. And I think she does have 90 days. Otherwise, she'll be held until May 3rd when it goes back to court. And that's May 3rd, 2024. And that's allowing them time for the prosecutors to analyse the evidence. Do you know what I mean? Stuff that was seized at the property as well. So that's all we know today. I know it's only a short one, but that's all we know today. I will keep covering this story, and if I see that she does apply for bail, I will definitely come and let you all know, because do you mean this? As I said, this is one that's all over my news. I am working on another one as well that has happened just in Sydney, and I'm just going to quickly go over a little bit of it. It's not... I'm going to go more detail into it, but there was a very, like a private school in Sydney, and they've had one of their students pass away in the toilet block. It was her boyfriend that had done it. 3 hours after after she'd passed, because of him, they have caught him on video cameras with buying hammers and stuff what was used, and they found him the next morning where he'd actually jumped off a cliff. So I am doing a lot more research on that, and I hope to have that one up in a couple of days, because that's another one that's all over our news right now. But yeah, I just want to get this one out and do it, and I will keep you all informed. As I said, if I hear of appeal, I'll come out and let you know. If not, we've got to wait till May for this one. But thank you everyone for coming and listening, and I hope to be back soon. Thanks.
There's too much that's going on, I don't know what to do. Paralyzed by options in this world, can't pick and choose. Yeah, everybody's life is on display, including you. Yeah, I feel every day is just the same, stuck in a loop. I need some variety, I'm sick of this anxiety. I'm sick of this society, they make us feel a rivalry. Compare ourselves to others, but we all got different mothers. We were raised in different structures, so we're different, it's no wonder, yeah. I just want a great life, something where I feel like I just didn't waste time. Something I look back and say that was a great time. Cause man, I just hate when the years pass by the wayside. Yeah, lost inside, and I need a little time to find who I am in this life. I will find a way to feel alive. watch out now, I figured something out, what this whole life's about, yeah. It's not the goal, it's the journey. Wasted emotion is worry. I'll stop being in a hurry, and I'll just enjoy what I'm doing. Keep pushing forward and moving. Appreciate the improvement, yeah. I was so stuck on a goal, was losing sight of my soul. Need to enjoy getting old and be so present. I don't know if there's a heaven, but I know I wanna get in. And sometimes I feel a presence, energy in a direction, so I follow intuition. It took me to a musician, now I'm on a different mission, to help others with afflictions. Now I'm not lost inside, I finally have seemed to find who I am in this life, and I found a way to feel alive.